The Wurt / Winona / Ocean Nonsense beta is out now, everyone, and it's about as broken of an update as we've ever seen. Not due to any buffs or anything. I mean that one of the 2 skill trees are literally unplayable currently, so buckle up for a shoddy guide on a shoddy update. As heck, even the stuff that does work does require some finesse to apply these newfound skills. But Winona's first 5 are up first though, and note how I did have to rebuild machines in order to see these mechanics in action. And what are these changes, you ask? Well, here's the light given by any normal spotlight versus the range of one under the effects of her spacious spotlight skill. To continue, her hot light perk turns any plain old spotlight with no heat production into a light that's literally hot, even as we walk away from the damn thing. Now there is a limit, but it's far enough not to matter in my opinion. So as we progress, we can select a perk that stops all generators from draining if they are not powering anything, while also encountering a skill that grants a sleep mode to machines indicated by a flashing light on said machines. And if things were working properly, the generators would also power down in this case as well. And finally, a new main perk of hers is being able to dismantle entire setups to take on the go, fuel, and all still intact at that. Not bad, but it gets even more interesting. Various gadgets can now be charged at generators at give or take 1% per second, but that can be doubled via the quick charge skill if you do choose to go down that route. Whatever the case may be, we will all be seeing a new handy remote craft, as what's to come is impossible without one. For now, all we can do is arm all catapults in range after a click of a button or two, but spec into her targeting and barrage skills there, and suddenly you will have more control than ever, while also dealing damage faster than ever. Targeting lets you choose, well, the target, of course, while rapid fire is a more passive, natural setting that applies to catapults that are self-targeting, as you can see. But you still have to use the remote to temporarily turn on rapid fire, though. But next up are the bunch, and I mean a bunch, of self-explanatory skills, like the greater generator perks, increasing efficiencies by a potential 100%, and a couple set of skills that will increase a catapult's base firing rate and its AoE splash damage. Both are fine, especially the increased AoE that can be seen here, but that is a lot of insight points for otherwise ignorable buffs. So to wrap her up, let's talk her affinities. The Nightmare generators are up to bat, and they allow Winona to not only fuel generators with Nightmare Fuel / Pure Horror, but overcharge them as well. Now, it sounds like overcharge mechanics are unfinished for the time being, however note that with Pure Horror running the show, cannonballs change. They will not only deal more damage themselves, which is already noteworthy, but toss in the special planar strikes, and suddenly each shot is going to jump to 120 a pop. Just make sure to keep it fueled, of course. To continue, her Shadow Seeker affinities round out her connection to her sister by literally rendering her immune to her sister's attacks forever and ever, and granting her a rose-colored glasses craft that produces nightmare fuel every 4 minutes at the click of a button, while also giving us a chance at Pure Horror if we wait long enough in between looks, I believe. But yes, the Wagstaff side of things, you ask? The generator skills are practically identical for now, so bear that in mind, but the Founder's Keeper skill set comes with its own set of goggles that will pulse when we wear them atop our noggin and lead us to special Wagstaff caches throughout the constant that are filled with electronics needed for all sorts of fun. For now though, note how the calibrated perceivers we receive can be used to scan most any craft in the game to prototype said craft and learn its recipe without actually learning its recipe at a prototyper. But take things a step further and scan Wobot, and you will unlock Winona's exclusive Winbot, which is just a Wobot but smaller and chargeable for the most part. But if you find a level 2 cache to unlock via a new minigame, we can scan and unlock Winona's take on Wagstaff's Telebrella setup. Yes, they are very similar. No, the range is not good at all as things stand, and yes, items beneath us when we teleport will also teleport too now, so enjoy. As we need to hurry through part 2 of this update, the ocean overhauls, starting with the Crab King. The entire thing has changed, and arguably it was for the better, but it kind of sucks even more now because it's easier. His health no longer changes, so red gems now buff the cannons that his minions fire at our boats and will absolutely puncture them if they're upgraded enough, so do not use red gems. Blue gems now increase the health of his ice barriers while giving us less time on his freshly formed ice sheet arena. Yellow gems spawn crazy amount of cannons, as you can see. Green gems increase claw numbers, all the same as before actually. And finally, purples increase the number of crab guards and their healths. But that's all easily countered with one pan flute, so who cares? Looks like we're still using purple gems for this stupid fight. To continue then, active sunken chest treasure spots have increased to 10 from 4, and bottles have a higher chance of revealing them. A new archaic boat kit can now be found within sunken chests, and it is a double-held cargo boat essentially. Surprise seeds might be within chests too, and require a trial and error process to determine which tree they actually are, as only certain turfs accept specific trees. But once the gem tree begins to sprout in autumn/summer, only summer will actually continue its growth until they are ready to harvest many hours later, and then these geode fruit that we see before you can be collected and heated up to produce various gems at various rates. The gloom trees start out liking autumn and winter themselves, but can only fully grow and thus produce their fruit come winter and winter alone. So once darkness falls on a cold night, be sure to pick this fruit that grants temporary night vision at will. Marauders are new ocean mobs found in shallow waters, boasting 350 health, 35 damage, the ability to gather and hunt near their dens, and even on land will steal, store, and sleep within said dens, which can also be searched by players for said loot. They are non-hostile for the most part, but don't like us having meat/food on us, so be mindful. And they also don't like us stealing from their dens or literally rowing their entire raft away. And make note how these rafts actually break up in deeper waters. But sea stacks now mark nearby Moonkey territory with more markings, meaning a closer Moonkey island. Pirate raids themselves have a chance to spawn with cannons and chests. Ocean set pieces are a thing, and some are really good with unique loot, while others are absolutely traps. Kelp patches are a thing now, and they're very much temporary, which is why they're available immediately. We ourselves can plug boat leaks with loot and our bodies, and the heavier the loot, the better the plug. Pirate hats have waterproofness now. Pirate bandanas increase steering speeds, and it's very noticeable. Tridents have more uses and deal more damage after today. Cannons won't destroy boat structures. Narwhals, skitter squids, and even the Melbatross have increased spawn rates. Heavier fish, even the smaller ones, drop big fish steaks now. The 7 fish and fig recipes before you have all been buffed in one way or another. Rockjaw damage has been nerfed to 20. Salt formations now no longer persist above the water for easier navigation. A gourmet salt lick exists and can be repaired via salt at the end of the day. Fish food blueprints can now be bought via pearl. The Frostjaw has a statue and his bootleg stacked to 10. And finally, the Horizon Expandinator has an expanded field of view. Whoop-de-doo. Although I really shouldn't be complaining, as Wurt skill tree is next and it's a disaster every which way to Sunday and borderline unplayable, so I'm sorry for what you're about to see. But mental fluidity 1 and 2 are first, and at most to regenerate 1 sanity every 10 seconds at max efficiency. Another skill sees Wurt pretty much immune to temperature drops come high wetness. Hydra's healing sees 1 health returned every 15 seconds at maximum efficiency. Slippery Hide makes wetness armor, but at the cost of attacks from hostiles being counted as doubled or so. She has a whole mosquito branch that leads to 4 mosquito crafts that make mosquitoes neutral when held, will blow up into 4 to 6 insects, dealing 59 damage initially. We'll add all fertilizer types to plots as you can see, and heal both her and Merms alike. Spec into all of it, however, and every single craft you just saw will be bigger and better too. Say like healing over time on top of those initial gains. To continue, the community feeders should speed up Merm spawn timers, which is dumb and redundant. Nearby players are apparently gaining speed on Marsh now if Wurt has this skill, which is also dumb. She has perks dedicated to increasing King's hunger while slowing down his hunger drain overall. The King's boosts travel to the caves now. There is a really unique set of 3 skills that require you to give the King a marble armor for 25% built-in armor for both you and your Merm's mind. A Thulsite crown for the ability to dodge attacks every 10 seconds for both you and your Merm's mind. And finally, a Strident Trident for 5% damage, a 50% chance at triple damage, and a 33% chance for a Merm guard to hit 3 times in one go. Industrious Merms here, however, gives regular Merms a multi-tool that they can chop and mine with. You can build armories for Merm guards to give them helmets. There's a skill that prevents a Merm from fighting if its health drops low enough, but once again, this is only for Merm guards. Her lunar affinity can transform all merms in the planar crap, and temporarily change an environment and induce enlightenment with a mudslinger. The shadow affinities do kind of the same, but with more shadow tentacles attacking hostiles within these unique swamps, while literally resurrecting merms in the shadow variants that will keep them fighting for you even beyond death. But oof, this is way too much, and almost none of it makes sense. Seriously, none of it fits. So yep, I hate it, regardless of if it's a beta or not. The ocean stuff is the highlight of everything, so that should tell you everything you need to know about how I feel. But thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all. More in-depth stuff as stuff actually begins to work, but I'll see you in the next one regardless. Bye-bye.